Welcome back to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. We're going to go on another search today looking for some beautiful places. This afternoon we are out in the Washita National Forest in southeast Oklahoma. And when we get back from this hike, we are going to put together one of the best meals we've ever made in our camping adventures. This afternoon we are hiking out of the Winding Stair campground into the Washita National Forest along the Washita National Recreation Trail. The trailhead is marked on Google Maps along with a dim tracing of the trail, but Gaia has a much better representation, has the trail labeled very clearly. The Forest Service has a dedicated website to the Washita National Recreation Trail with lots of good information and maps that show the travel all the way from eastern Oklahoma to its terminus just outside of Little Rock. All Trails lists this trail as just shy of 214 miles, and you can see right where we are with a little red circle. When the kids were little, my wife and I and the children spent some time hiking out of the Talahina State Park at the western terminus of the trail. And one thing to always be aware of on this trail is the need to shed layers. In Oklahoma, it can go from very cold to very warm during the day. As you leave the Winding Stair campground, one of the first things you come to is the Backpackers Camp. And there is just some neat things there, a beautiful view, tent pads, picnic tables. The backpackers are well cared for on this trail. On this short day hike, we are just taking in the mountaintop loop. It's just about 2.5 miles. The mountaintop loop does cross Talamina Drive, and then we head to the south side. On the south side, the mountain actually drains into a creek in that area. Right here we're descending a grade to go down to where the mountain to the south meets our slight grade on the north. And there's going to be some water down in here, which is very rare for the Washita Mountains. There were some mountain bikers out on the trail and they were enjoying that downhill grade also. They looked like they were having a blast. From my research on the Washita National Recreation Trail, it is best to hike in the spring because it really is the only time that there is water that's available. It is a Really significant caution about hiking in this area. This is not an area that you hike in the summer. It is dry, it is hot, but in the springtime, there is water. We crossed the road at the trailhead and headed back to the campground for another special view. Part of the mountaintop loop comes back to a small little walkway that goes out to the Emerald Vista. This is the Emerald Vista. It is at the Winding Stair Campground. It was time to head back to our campsite, and I had scouted out a little piece of hickory earlier, and I thought that would be just a great piece of wood to prepare our dinner. I have used this Bauer chainsaw many times, and all of this weekend I never had to recharge it. I keep the charger in the Pilot and I can plug it into my Jackery to charge it, but it lasts quite a while. The blade has been staying sharp. I have done this before on other videos, but I like to cut my wood in short 5 to 6 inch long lengths and then split it open with a hatchet. It makes nice chunks that are even heat for cooking. I let those hickory chunks dry in the sun and caught up on a little reading, and then got the fire started. I'm putting some olive oil on the cast iron pans. My wife is chunking up some steak with some scissors, and we're going to make a Mexican dish here with some black beans and some spicy cauliflower rice.
Stir it up. Okay, put the lid on and lift it.
Hang it again.
You can come put it here on the hot pads.
On the what? Okay.
You want more, don't you?
I'm following instructions.
Okay. It's baking in the sun.
We spent the rest of our evening relaxing by the fire. The wind started to pick up, but the sunset was still beautiful as it peeked through the trees and then lit up the sides of the mountains. You can't miss the sound of the wind in the background. It blew the fire hard. It made recording a little bit difficult. It made, trying to keep your tripod and camera safe from the wind even more of a challenge. We still caught a little bit of the moon. The wind worked us pretty hard last night. We didn't sleep that well, and this morning the wind was still going. I really wasn't even able to record much because I wasn't able to keep my camera upright. We packed up pretty quick to protect our equipment from the wind, and we loaded up and headed home. In the next couple weeks, I'm going to try to make another trip down to the Billy Creek Recreation Area. Come back. You might be wondering why I spent all that time putting some bigger tires on my trailer. And the reason for that is because of the ply of the tire. On the smaller tires, the walls are thin, they're easily punctured, they are, they easily can blow out. I had that happen once on a trip to Glacier National Park. Even the old tires that are the cast-offs from the pilots, these are the old Falcon Wild Peak. Their ply is considerably thicker, and yes, it created some work to put on a bigger axle, longer axle, and to put on the longer C-jacks, but we've got some plans coming up, so it was pretty necessary.